Can you kind of take us through that three-pointer you knocked down? It was RJ had went baseline, kicked it to you in the corner. Can you just describe that play real quick?
Just when you have a very talented player like RJ on your team, I feel like he draws so much attention, and so it's just important to always stay ready. I feel like he can create for others very well, and just set my feet, knock it down. It was a good experience.
Question for all three of you guys. You just heard Kirst has the second largest second half comeback in program history. It's also the third 18-point comeback today in this gym. Just can you sort of describe what it was like playing in this game?
It was electric. I mean, it was like a high school atmosphere, so something we all kind of missed. But just, it was a super loud gym. You know, we had, I don't know, however many percent of the gym packed out with our fans. So just to have them behind our back while we were making that comeback was amazing. We knew we were super capable of it. We knew we were going to do it. But yeah, just to do it in this kind of atmosphere, about how loud it was, you know, how tight the gym is, it was super fun.
RJ, right here, straight ahead, right here. Oh. Down 21, what was the conversation in the locker room at halftime? Was it mostly Coach Davis, or did anyone on the team, you or anyone else, kind of speak up? And part two of the question is, when did you truly feel like you had the daylight to pull off this level of comeback? If you can remember the play or the sequence when that maybe materialized in the second half.
It was a lot of motivation going to the halftime for myself and Seth. We were kind of like the voice in terms of just trying to get guys going and just build our spirit. Obviously, we went down big in the first half. It wasn't the first half we like to play, and you know, myself and Seth, we just told them like we gotta stop shooting ourselves in the foot. We always put ourselves in these positions and then gotta climb our way back into games. So if we could just put together the second half like we did tonight in the first half for a full 40 minutes, we'll be more than fine. But I feel like in the second half, the way we battled, we competed, we just chipped away possession by possession. I think that's when we knew like we could come back to this game. And it was from everyone. It wasn't just one person. It was a collective contribution from, you know, Drake hitting the corner three, Seth fast break layups, Elliott making nice passes to Jay Wash, Jay Witt and Jay Wash talking on the defensive end on the switches. Just those little plays and little details make big things happen, and that's why I was able to come out with the win.
With the game set tomorrow against Auburn, how are you guys preparing for that? What are you guys looking forward to playing against them?
We'll get back tonight, eat, and then start prep right away. Watch our personnel, watch what they did today, watch their plays in the year. But Auburn's a really good team. They're very competitive. They're very physical. I think they're a top 5 team. So we really got our hands full. It's going to be a good game, and we know we have to prep ourselves mentally because we know that we got to put two halves together tomorrow. You know, we can't sustain this 15-point comeback every second half. You know, we just can't do that. So prepping ourselves that way, you know.
Yeah, this is for any of you guys. Obviously, you guys have, you know, just been touching on it. I know you're not thinking about past games in a, you know, current game, but, you know, the Kansas game was a similar one. Go down 20, make a, you know, a late push. What do you think was, I know you said that's not a sustainable formula, but what do you think was the difference of coming out on top this time around?
I would just say it's hard and not giving up and wanting to compete and wanting to win. It took the starting 5 and the bench. So we went into our locker room, obviously with some explicit words being said, but that was in a way of just kind of just get everybody to compete harder because they were kicking our butt on both ends of the floor and out hustling us and out toughening us. So we didn't allow that no more in the second half, and like you said, like we kind of did that again against Kansas, and it's not sustainable for the whole year because it's a long year and teams are really good, so we can't keep, you know, coming out flat in the first half and then trying to put a comeback in the second half. So, but I'm really proud of the group effort that we had tonight, and it just shows how really talented and gifted this team is. So, but we just got to do a better job of putting both halves together.
One more thing, going off what I just said, we had I don't know if we made a promise to ourselves, but, you know, we really bet on ourselves that we weren't going to let this be like Kansas. We weren't going to let it end up like Kansas, you know, losing by 3, losing by, you know, the last 30 seconds of the game. So we said it at halftime, you know, hey, we're not going to let this be Kansas, and then we said it with about 3 minutes left to go as well. So we kept reiterating it.
Guys, I was going to ask you something different, but RJ said there were some explicit words. So who was saying the explicit words, if you don't mind?
Me?
Me.
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
Well, we know that. Well, also, RJ, could you sort of take us through the play? If you've been asked this, I'm sorry, I just got in here, but where you found Drake in the corner, and you were obviously hot there in the second half. What did you see to sort of trust him in that moment, and just how did the play unfold from your vantage point?
Well, I remember Ellie had the ball. We called 5 up, so Jay Walsh was setting the screen. And then I kind of like lifted up, but then I realized I brought my defender towards Ellie as he was driving, so I kind of just spaced out and did like a little backdoor cut. And as I was driving, I saw the big pull in, and I was able to get around the big, and then the defense shifted and rotated, and I found Drake in the corner, trusted him. I knew he was going to knock it down, and that was a big time shot from him, and that's what I saw from him. That was the play that happened.
All right, last question for the players, and then we'll move on to Hubert. RJ and Seth, you both had 4 fouls for an extended period, as well as Elliott. Does that change your approach, or do you put that in your mind? How do you deal with that?
We got to be maybe a little bit more timid on defense, on the defensive end, but it kind of allows us to play smarter. So honestly, it kind of helps us as it has its cons as well. But I mean, we've been here before. We've all played in foul trouble before. This wasn't my first time at all. It wasn't his, so we were used to it. But helped us play smarter. I mean, we can't play as aggressive. You know, you kind of want to play more aggressive coming back, you know, when you're down 21. But we were able to do it, so it worked out.
All right. Thanks, guys. Switch.
All right, here's Hubert. I don't want to keep Dayton too long.